Hello friends, good morning. Today we are going to discuss another session of complex analysis that is residue. Okay, in the last lecture we have seen what is a Laurent theorem and the coefficients in Laurent theorem, that is n and bn, right? So any complex function f of z we can represent as a power series as sigma n is equal to 0 to infinity n z minus a whole raised to n and sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity bn z minus a whole raised to minus n, and this part we called as principal part, right? Principal part, and this part we called as analytic part, right? Okay, and this n and bn value also we discussed. Okay, so I am recommending to watch those videos before coming to this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we are particularly interested in this coefficient bn, right? This bn, suppose you are considering a case where n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1. So what I can write, when n is equal to 1, b1 is equal to 1 by 2 pi I closed integral f of z dz divided by this minus 1 plus 1, that will be 0, that is z minus a whole raised to 0, that is equal to 1. So b1 is equal to 1 by 2 pi I closed integral f of z dz, right? Now see, from it I can write this closed integral f of z dz is equal to 2 pi I into b1, right? This equation has a very important equation because this b1 we can call it as a residue of f of z, that is z is equal to a. This b1 we can call it as residue. So once you know this residue, you can calculate the complex integration. So it is very tedious to calculate the complex functions integral. Okay, so once you know residue of the function b1, or suppose the function has number of residues, so I can replace this equation as curved integral f of z dz equal to 2 pi I into sum of residues. So say we have so many bn coefficient is b1 b2 b3 etc. So I can write this sum of residue as that is sigma of residue. We have a lot of methods to calculate this residue that we will discuss later. So once you know the residue, you can calculate the complex integral. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so this all about this. And then so we have seen integral f of z dz is equal to 2 pi I into p1, right? Now this theorem we already discussed. Integral f of z dz is equal to 2 pi I into integral sum of all the residues. Okay, and this theorem we can call it as Cauchy's residue theorem. Okay, Cauchy's residue theorem, and its important is we can calculate the complex integrals. Okay, integration of complex function. Okay, now to calculate this complex integral, we must calculate the residue. Now we are going to discuss how to calculate the residue of a function. Okay, and in the next section we will discuss how can we solve this integral using this, right? So let us discuss how can we calculate the residue. Okay, so that we are going to discuss now. Okay, now we can check how to calculate residue for a simple pole. Okay, so this means, this representation means residue of the function f at c, right? At c. Okay, for suppose you have a function c 1 by z minus c. This is a complex function, right? Okay, so we can simply represent residue of this function f of z at c. Okay, at C means to calculate this, what you have to do is residue of a symbol pole. So we here see Z is equal to C is a symbol pole, right? Because at Z is equal to C, the function is blows up, right? At that condition, Z is equal to C is a single pole, right? So if Z is the Z is equal to C is a single pole, then residue of f of Z that is defined as limit as Z tends to C, right? Z minus C into f of C. Okay, f of Z. Okay, this is the formula to calculate the residue of a symbol pole, right? Okay, now suppose you have a condition. So for an example, we can do one example problem for this. See, what is the residue? What is the residue of a function z divided by z minus 2, z divided by z minus 3 at z is equal to 3. So what is the formula? You can apply the formula limit as z tends to 3. Okay, at z is equal to 3 we want to find z minus c. C is equal to 3. So z minus c into f of z, that is z minus 3 into what is f of z? F of z is the given function, that is z by z minus 3. So this z minus 3, z minus 3 cancel. So you can give z is equal to 3 here. So answer is 3, right? Okay. Now if you put z is equal to 3, you have one more method to calculate this. If the function is in the form f of z by g of z, or we may write g of x divided by h of x. Okay, g of z divided by h of z. Suppose you have a function like this f of z. Now if you have a function, for an example, you have a function like, okay, z is equal to z divided by z minus 1. Okay, this is f of z. So or we may take the function which we have taken earlier, then we can compare the result, whether the result is same or not also. So we have done this just before, and we have seen the answer as residue of this as 3, right? So here what I am going to do is I can take, if I am substituting the value, I want to calculate the residue at z is equal to 3. Residue at z is equal to 3, right? So if I am substituting this in the equation, z is equal to 3 at this point, the denominator will be 0. That means when I receiving this z is equal to 3, the function will blows up, and z is equal to 3 is a pole, right? At that condition, you can do limit as z tends to c f of, this is our g of z. Okay, g of z divided by, you can write h dash of z. Okay, h dash of z. Only if you find h of z is equal to 0. Okay, when z is equal to c. Z is equal to c means c is the pole, right? So if you give this as z by z minus c, then c is the pole. Okay, so you can apply this result also. Okay, let me check the result is correct or not. So this z by z minus 3 in this format, so I can calculate the pole simply by z tends to c. What is g of z? This is g of z, that is z. What is then when I am substituting the value, this z is equal to 3 here, 3 minus 3, so that is equal to 0. Then I have to find the differential of this. Okay, that is d by dz of, that is h dash z. Okay, d by dz of z minus 3, that is equal to 1. So limit as z tends to 3. C is given as 3. Okay, residue at 3 we want to find, so we may replace this c with 3, right? So that is z divided by 1. So that is equal to 3. So answer again we will get as 3. Okay. So that also one method to calculate the residue. If the function is in the form quotient form, okay, function is in the quotient form, you can calculate the residue like this. Okay, so based on this we may do problems. Okay, now before come to the problems, we may check some other rules. Suppose the residue is in the format, right? Suppose the function is in the format, we considered symbol poles, right? Z by Z minus 1. So it has a symbol pole at Z is equal to 1, or Z by Z minus 3. This symbol pole at Z is equal to 3. So suppose you have the second order, third order, higher order poles. Like suppose you have an equation like this. Suppose you consider this an equation Z by Z minus 2 whole square. Okay, in such a situation, see, Z is equal to 2 is a pole, and also this is a second order pole, right? At that time the previous equations are not valid. Okay, at that time what you have to do is you have to apply then residue of f of z c. At the point c, what is the residue? This 2 we can take on as c in general expression. Okay, that is equal to 1 by n minus 1 factorial into dn minus 1 d z raised to n minus 1 into z minus z all raised to n f of z. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate the residue. So I can do the same problem using this formula, then you will get more idea. Okay, so you have to remember this equation. This is the formula that is we need to calculate the residue. And here n is, what is n? N is the order of this pole. Okay, here n is equal to 2. This is the order. Okay, so let me do this problem, that is z divided by z minus 1 the whole square. Suppose this is my function f of z. So it is a pole of order 2, right? And pole is z is equal to 1, right? So I can write this as at z is equal to 1, z is equal to 1 is the pole. So what is the residue? From this equation I am comparing to this equation. So residue of f of z, instead of c we have 1 here, right? So 1, that is equal to 1 by, where n is the order of this pole. What is order? 2. That is 2 minus 1 whole factorial into, that is again z minus c all raised to n. What is z minus c? D by 2 minus 1 dz raised to 2 minus 1, that is z minus c all raised to n, that is z minus 1 the whole square, right? Z minus 1 the whole square, right? Into f of z. What is f of z? Z divided by z minus 1 the whole square. Okay, f of z is this. Now you can substitute here this and this will cancel. So 1 by 2 minus 1 factorial, that is 1 by 1 factorial, and the second derivative, this second 2 minus 1, that is, so this become first derivative into z, that is equal to 1. So answer will be 1. Okay, so this is the answer of this. Okay, so this is the method to find multiple poles. That means higher order poles will come. You can use this formula. Okay, now in the next session we can do some more problem based on this. Okay, based on these two rules. Okay, thank you.